everybody, and thank you for coming out tonight. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to come and listen to my speech. Tonight, I'd like to be informing y'all about bees and especially beekeeping. It is a time honored practice, it has been around for thousands of years. There are reports of beekeeping being practiced in ancient China as well as ancient Egypt. Random fun fact is that honey is the only food that cannot go bad. Scientists and archaeologists have actually found jars of honey from ancient Egypt that are edible. No bacteria has grown, they have not spoiled, and it's thousands of years old, and it is still edible to this day. Whether or not you should eat it, it's debatable, but it is actually a food that will not go bad. Jumping back onto the topic of beekeeping, and especially bees in particular. Bees are one of the most important creatures of the world. Without bees, we would not have grocery stores, we would not have restaurants. Livestock wouldn't be able to thrive. The price of food itself would be more expensive. In turn, economies would crash because without the farmers, we would have no, without the bees, we would have no farmers. Without the farmers, we would have no truck drivers to transport these goods to the grocery stores. Without these grocery stores, we would have no restaurants and chefs to cook and prepare this wonderful food that has been made by the bees. Pollinators in particular are one of the greatest, I would say, types of creatures. Hummingbirds, bees, even wasps and other flying insects are all including pollinators. And while they are definitely intimidating because of their speed and agility as well as size and potential for damage, beekeeping is a practice where those who are comfortable around these flying insects have overcome their any fears that they may have had, and they harvest this honey. They harvest the honeycomb. They harvest as much as they can out of these beehives, and they produce a wonderful product in turn. I know I personally love honey and coffee and tea especially. Honey is also great in cooking. Honeycomb is also another delicacy. You can make so many different products out of honeycomb, beeswax. There are many companies that have made lip balms and lotions, as well as, fun fact is that honeycomb is actually edible as well. You can chew it, and almost like a chewing gum. It has the flavor, and it is a flavor that continuously, with every chew, is present. And it lasts as natural, just as well as chewing gums. Going back onto the beekeeping as well, the beehive that we recognize and know and love, it was actually originated in 1850 by Laszlo Landstruth, I believe was the name. He created the traditional design and shape of the beehive that commercial as well as hobbyist beekeepers use today. That revolutionized the game. It made commercial beekeeping possible. It made harvesting the honey much more ethical as well as affordable and as well as less time consuming. Before, you would have to damage the comb, you would have to disturb the bees, you would have to completely destroy the hive in essence to get the honey, whereas now it's a much more ethical and humane way of harvesting the honey. There are many different aspects of beekeeping which are endangered actually to this day. From pesticides that commercial farmers use, as well as natural predators such as parasites and beetles, can all damage the hive. The parasites weaken the bees, so they're not able to fight off easy infections or sicknesses. Conditions also are not entirely favorable for bees right now. There has actually been a decline in the past 50 years of honey colonies. It's an alarming rate of over 15%, I would say, per year, leading experts to be wary and be worried about the future of our planet. If the bees disappear, we will have really no life. This has not stopped policymakers and farmers and corporate greediness from taking hold of a time honored practice. And it has caused much worry and doubt in the future of the human race, in essence. Without bees, the human race cannot thrive as well as it could. The grass would not be as green, the trees wouldn't bloom, we would not have any color vibrancy left in the world. Wrapping things up, I would say that beekeeping is a complicated and encouragingly fun hobby. If more people were interested in beekeeping, if more people were able to, and cities have beehives on top of their roofs, and in the countries have beehives, if the public was better informed, there may not be as much concern for the future of the bee kind as well as the human race. Um, while there are people looking into the causes of these disappearances, those actions will not affect the population of bees well enough until more people are willing to step up and take actions and choose a cleaner path, choose better options for the planet, choose recycling, and choose the more eco-friendly options that will protect the bees and keep these pollutants out of the water, out of the soil, out of the air, weakening and damaging the bees. As a complete and total wrap up, I would say that without bees, life couldn't exist. Thank y'all for coming out tonight, and hope y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you.